What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Weekend Preview with the Next Guy Up podcast. We are live, getting ready for a fun, action-packed football weekend on Christmas weekend. We got Christmas Eve games, we've got Christmas Day games, we've got bowl games, college basketball, you name it, we got it. Fantasy playoffs are going on for some of us, me and Mason.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Shout out.
Zach was ready to win the losers bracket, and then we had the highest score of the year happen against him. So that was fun.
Whatever.
Mason's brother.
I had a good score.
Mason's brother Matthias.
Yeah, shout out Matthias for putting up 200 points and
he had
destroying me.
He had like Christian McCaffrey and Mike Evans Mike Evans didn't go off. I don't remember who else it was, but it was bad. I know you had Christian McCaffrey score almost 50 on you.
Yeah, it's fun times. Yeah. Didn't even have a chance. Just knocked out of the losers bracket immediately. I even had a good week. You did 146. Mm-hmm. That would have. That's decent.
That would have beat everyone in the playoffs except for me.
Wow.
So by 4.
Matthias's tight end Njoku scored more points than any of your players on your team, Zach.
Thanks, Mason. Makes me feel better.
James Cook, by the way, was the other one that also went off.
Yeah, James Cook. And then his defense got 27 points.
Yeah.
His defense beat you.
Juggernauts. James Cook.
So
who would have thought?
Shout out Matthias. He's trying to win that losers bracket.
Sheesh.
But what a year it's been in fantasy. I can't wait for next week's recap. No waffles for anybody on the podcast. Shout out.
That's all I'm here for.
That was our real goal. I beat Robert, so shout out. I know you're listening, Robert. Take that. You deserve it. You've been poking the bear all year, and so then I had to bounce you. That's what happens.
You guys were going back and forth through
talking trash.
We were trying to jinx each other a lot. It was great. Yeah. It worked. DK Metcalf could have beat me.
Yeah, he's garbage.
If he would have had one more long-ish catch and a touchdown, he would have beat me. Which I did bet on him. I sent it in our group text. I said, listen, if I'm going to lose in fantasy, I'm at least going to make some money. So I same game parlay DK Metcalf to score a touchdown and him to have 80 yards.
If Metcalf had caught that long touchdown at the end,
yep,
I think it would have been.
It would have been over. I would have made some money though.
It would have been very close. Yeah,
the rookie caught that instead though.
Right.
Did you for a second freak out because you thought, oh, you were probably asleep?
I was very asleep. I don't know that I watched any of that game. I was very tired Monday.
Well, DK Metcalf caught 4 passes in a row in the last drive.
Yeah,
and then I looked down and then I looked back up for a second and they had scored a touchdown and I was like, if that was DK Metcalf, it just got really interesting.
Yeah,
it wasn't, but
because I think he had one catch for 20-something yards, and then their last drive, Seahawks drove it down 93 yards, game-winning touchdown, and DK caught 4 of them for 60-something yards.
Pretty much all of it, yeah.
he set it all up, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba caught the touchdown to end it.
Yeah.
So shout out my
Ohio
Ohio State guy. Yeah. Yep, highlights were good. Drew Lock is back. He's putting his backpack on, putting everybody in it. That's his thing, I guess. I don't know. It seems kind of nerdy and lame.
It's very weird. Yeah, a little bit.
Whatever floats his boat, I suppose. Kind of hurts my narrative of the Seahawks are kind of bad if Drew Lock's going to come in and start dicing people up. I was kind of down on him because I'm not a big Geno Smith fan, but here's Drew Lock to prove me wrong.
Rising from the ashes. Yeah. Well, if you're listening Friday morning, we had a game yesterday, the Saints versus the Rams. We have a college football game tonight, and then we have Saturday and Sunday, and then 3 games on Monday. So you have 5 days.
Wow.
Of Christmas, yes, of Christmas spectacular.
That's amazing.
It's the best time of the year. Nothing but
honestly,
football.
That's whenever a lot of the good bowl games start right after that. The college bowl games do.
Yeah, so I was looking. We have 3 on the 20. Actually, we have more days in a row because on the 26th we have 3 bowl games. On the 27th we have bowl. It's literally like a whole week. Yep, they continue. You are correct, Zach. They literally go. Football will be going through like the next week and a half.
I'm not sure there's any
every
college
single
on
day.
New Year's Eve.
It's weird that they don't do that because there used to be
There's
a
a
few
lot
bowl
of New
games.
Year's Day.
I feel like there's a lot of college basketball that day.
That could be true. Yeah.
I think they've kind of taken that slot, which that's cool. I mean, that's college basketball is from the time you wake up till the next day, essentially. I mean, there's
to answer your question. There's not.
There's not.
There's or not on New Year's Eve. There's the Chick-fil-A Bowl, the Music City Bowl, the Capital One Orange Bowl, and the Arizona Bowl, all on Saturday, December 30th, and then it skips to January 1st.
That's what I was thinking. It's a Sunday, which there might be a deal where they don't have any college football on Sunday.
We've all gotten together for New Year's Eve, and we've definitely watched college football games. So that might be a thing because of NFL and contracts. I don't know. All that TV deal stuff gets kind of. Maybe we can break some of that stuff down.
I'm actually going to guess that's what it is, probably.
Yeah, they're not trying to compete.
I forgot that it was a Sunday. Yeah.
So yeah, speaking of bowl season, me and Zach were texting this morning. Zach had the idea of maybe we do a little competition between me and him. So he has picked some of we know there's 1,000 bowl games. There's also a bunch that don't matter at all where I couldn't tell you 3 players on either side.
Just really bad games
that
no one cares about.
So Zach has gone through. We're going to do a head-to-head 6 games this week. And then we'll do a little bit deeper for the New Year's 6 games and kind of some of
I think I ended on only 5 games.
Oh, was it
one? So I only picked games up until next Thursday.
Gotcha.
And a lot of those are on Wednesday and Thursday of next week because a lot of the games this weekend just honestly are not very interesting. Like I really wanted to be interested in some of them, and they were just not very good.
Right.
So I picked most of the games from Wednesday and Thursday. I didn't want to pick any games from Friday because by then next week's episode will be out, and so we can actually pick those on next week's episode.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at on that one.
And I don't know what Zach's picked. He doesn't know what I've picked. So we could have some that are the same. We could have some that are differing. I'd say if we have any that are the same, parlay them because we're definitely going to hit that way,
100%.
If we both agree on it, it's definitely going to hit. That's the way science works and math.
True. It's true. Okay. So do we just want to run through those matchups?
Yeah.
Do we want to go ahead and do that?
Yeah, let's go do that.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with West Virginia, North Carolina. I believe this is on Wednesday, the 27th. West Virginia, North Carolina. Tins, who do you got?
I am going to be taking West Virginia in this matchup. Drake May has announced he is not playing. He's preparing for the NFL draft.
Yep.
I don't know what they have behind him at quarterback, but I can't imagine it's very much. They've also got a couple receivers and a couple running backs that are also declaring for the draft. So losing a lot of pieces on offense. And from what I can tell, West Virginia's team is pretty intact. They're going to have most of their guys playing. Their team, that their head coach was kind of on the hot seat going into the year. They performed above expectations. I think he saved his job and
had a great season. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, their win total was 5.5 going into the year.
Maybe like a top 5, like kind of surprise performance.
Yep.
West Virginia kind of came out of nowhere.
Right? So I think they use this to kind of put an exclamation mark on this season. They're hitting the transfer portal pretty hard, and so I think he'll use this to kind of jumpstart another good run next year. So I am on West Virginia.
Yeah, I agree. I'm on West Virginia as well. Same exact reasoning. I think Drake May kept him in some games this season, North Carolina, and they still weren't great. So I think West Virginia takes it. They have all the momentum. I think if there is something to be said for bowl season, I know it's kind of tricky to pick games because so many players aren't playing, and it's hard to tell. But I think there are some of these teams, and there's another one that we're going to talk about in a second, who are on the upswing and had a really surprising season. And I think I'm going to favor those teams over teams maybe who have underperformed throughout the year. who are kind of limping into the games and are coming in with really not very much to play for. So I'm taking West Virginia. Okay, next. We're going to kind of rapid fire here. Louisville, USC. I will go ahead and tell you I'm taking Louisville here. Louisville took a really tough loss to Kentucky at the end of the season, and then lost to Florida State, obviously, in the ACC championship. But I still think they're a good team. USC, without their shining star, I just think there's no way they win that game. Louisville's pretty big favorites. I'm taking Louisville.
I'm also on Louisville for the same reasons. USC, Caleb Williams is not playing. It's also been announced that their backup 5-star freshman is entered the transfer portal.
Ooh, what a bummer.
That's tough for USC. So another team where they've lost a lot at the skill positions, and I don't know who's going to be playing. And USC was just soft all year anyway. And Louisville,
so they don't even care. Yeah.
Right? And Louisville's a team that if you don't want to play them, they will just run it and make you tap out. It's not going to be a pretty score at all. In Louisville, so I feel like they're going to come running up on them. And Jeff Brom, the head coach at Louisville, he takes a lot of pride in that job. It's his first year there. I think he wants to show that he's going to turn that program around, be a powerhouse in the ACC. He's got some big transfers coming in. So this is going to be a show the world we're coming kind of game. So that's good.
Love it.
We're on the same page for 2 so far.
On the same page.
Where's the drama and the pizzazz and the back and forth? That's what I'm wondering.
It's coming. Don't worry.
We don't know. Maybe. Okay, next. Closer. This is a closer line here. Oklahoma State, Texas A&M. Tens. Who do you got?
I am all over Oklahoma State.
Dang it. Me too.
Dang it.
Me too.
Similar teams that like to play defense. The big difference to me is Texas A&M's getting depleted in the transfer portal.
Yes, they are.
Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy takes these bowl games seriously, whether he's playing in the Capital One Credit Card Bowl, Mayo Bowl. He does not care. He loves them. He likes to win these bowl games. He thinks they're important.
There you go. I agree. Oklahoma State, I think they've got more to play for. I just think A&M has given up on the season. They lost their head coach. Texas A&M is favored here, despite Oklahoma State kind of looking better throughout the course of the year. Oklahoma State's been pretty frisky throughout the year, so I just see them as probably coming in wanting a big statement win in the season. So I've got Oklahoma State as well. Okay, we're moving on to the 28th, which is Thursday. We've got 2 games left. Let's go ahead and do NC State, Kansas State. I will say right up front, I know very little about either of these teams, just 100% to be honest with you.
Right.
Tins, I don't know how much you know, but I don't know very much. I'm taking NC State here.
Come on, man. All right. So KC State's starting quarterback is transferred. That's a huge blow. He's someone who he took over the job midseason. His last name's Howard. He performed very well, and now he's going to go get himself a big job where he, going to get a top tier starting job in college football. NC State, though, they've started this kid in the middle of the year. They play good defense, and he's earned the job. He's going to be the starter next year, so it means they're going to come put on a performance. So that's where I'm leaning. They've got a few guys who are going to be in the draft that have said they're actually going to play in the bowl game. A couple of their defensive captains. So that's a good deal for them. Their starting linebacker, his last name's Wilson. He's Luke Wilson's little brother, linebacker for the Bengals. He's like heart and soul of the team. He's going to play, so that's a big deal for them.
All right, love it. Last pick. Let's see if we went 5 for 5 here, Tins. I'm going to guess we did. Probably
we did.
Arizona, Oklahoma. Last one, Oklahoma had a very promising season going until they took a pretty big L against Oklahoma State. And then they kind of struggled through at the end of their season. Arizona, big. They are the other team that has been a huge surprise this season, having one of the most surprising seasons out there. Arizona, Oklahoma. I'm going to guess both of us took this, but I'm taking Arizona there.
Yes, I love this Arizona team. Not only am I going to take them, I'm going to move the line to probably as high as they'll let me go.
Wow. Oklahoma lost their quarterback as well.
Yep.
The transfer portal.
Depleted Oklahoma.
Yep. Yep. And it's that same, for me, it's the same storyline of Arizona is just has looked really good, kind of on the come up. Oklahoma had a really promising season that just kind of was a letdown for everyone involved. Was looking at a playoff spot, and now was looking at this game against Arizona that they're not favored in. They lost their starting quarterback. I don't see them coming into the Alamo Bowl here very excited to play. So,
nope, I definitely agree.
I'm at.
So
okay,
good.
Well, we're 5 for 5.
5 for 5. So much for a head-to-head contest here.
If you want to go take this bet with us, it's plus $12.95 for all 5 games. So I'll put a couple bucks down. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'll be joining you on that for sure. I just had a guy hit like 5 threes, so got some
getting rich over there right now.
Got some money to burn in my pocket. So
by the way, it's Tins' birthday today, everybody.
Oh, shout out! It's my birthday. I deserve to hit
Tins happy birthday. Yeah, he's gonna hit all the bets tonight.
Yep, the big 3-0.
Okay. Yeah, big 30. Wow. How does it feel, Tins?
I feel significantly the same.
Dang,
my wife is obsessed with trying to make me feel old. Every day for like a month, she's like, "Wow, 30, you're old." I don't feel. Maybe it's because I still act like a child. I am a man child at the end of the day. So I don't know. I don't feel old. Maybe one day I'll feel old, but I still my interests are sports, video games, and doing and eating fast food. Like those are my hobbies. So
what more could you ask for?
I'm still 20 years old at heart.
Okay, to wrap up college, I've got a little trivia for Tins and Mason.
Ooh, oh no!
Let's get it.
It'll be short and sweet. It'll be quick. So I've got a list here of all of the teams that have ever played in a BCS or college football championship national championship game. So just for context, that's since 1998. So it's 25 years of games. So a potential of 50 total teams could be on this list. Okay. I will give you a little hint. There are only actually 18 teams. Okay. So under the 50 possible slots, there's only 18 teams that have actually competed for a BCS, which started in 1998, or a college football playoff, which started obviously, I don't remember when, mid 2010s somewhere. Yeah, I forget what first year was. Okay, so we're going to go back and forth, and we're going to see how far we can get down this list. All right. Okay, Mason, you're going to get to go first. I gave you a pretty big hint when I said
only 18 teams.
When I said 1998, I'm giving a few little hints.
Dropping some breadcrumbs.
Tennessee.
Okay, Tennessee is 1. Yep.
What the heck?
Alabama.
Okay. Alabama's also 1. Mason, back to you.
Georgia.
Correct.
LSU.
Correct.
Ohio State.
Yep.
Michigan.
You'd be incorrect with that one. Michigan has never played in a college football playoff national championship game or a BCS championship game. But I'll let you go again.
So I won?
Mason wins, but let's keep going. Michigan has never actually been in one.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking last year, but they got killed by TCU. So TCU.
Correct. TCU is 1. Yep.
What the? Clemson.
Yep.
USC.
Yep. Reggie Bush.
Penn State? They're not on there. No.
Not Penn State.
Now I
Okay,
lost.
you get one. You get one freebie. There's plenty of teams out there still. We're 8 down.
We're only 8 down.
Yep.
I have to go again.
I'll give you one more hint. Yeah, there's a team. What team played Tennessee in the national championship?
Oh my.
Oh no.
Oh no.
They have actually been in it since
well,
then.
hold on. Can I say Texas?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We were halfway there.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
True. It's not who played Tennessee, but
I don't know who played Tennessee. I'm not a true Vols fan, I guess. It's before I jumped on the bandwagon.
That's true. So that was 3 years old. All right.
Boston College.
Oh no. Okay, we're going downhill. Let's
Florida
see.
State.
Florida State. That's who played Tennessee. Actually. Yeah, that's who played Tennessee.
Miami. Miami on there.
Miami is on the list. You're correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else got one? There's a couple weird ones, but some.
Let's hear them.
Auburn, Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon.
Yep.
Let's see. Virginia Tech. That was the one I would not have got. Or Nebraska. Oklahoma is on the list.
Yeah. Oklahoma.
Yep. Should have known.
You got Baker. Yeah.
Yeah. Or no, that's probably Sam Bradford against Florida.
Oh, you're right. And then Florida is on there as well. Tim Tebow. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Tebow.
Tebow. I think that might have been
Chris Leak.
That's true.
Urban Meyer.
All right. So I just thought I saw that stat and it was crazy. There's only 18 teams and a bunch of them are only once. And then you have the Georgias, Alabamas, Ohio States of the world who have been like 7 or 8 times. So, Okay. Will we have a new team this year? Maybe not.
Well, I guess Michigan or
Washington.
If Alabama wins and
Texas wins, then no.
Texas wins, then we won't have it.
Because Washington wasn't on there.
They haven't been.
Nope.
Okay. Well, there you go.
There we go.
There's our college. Feel good about that?
Feel great. Love where we're at. Excited about bowl season. And we'll have a little bit more to kind of talk about once we get a little closer to the bigger New Year's 6 games and the playoff games.
Next week, I think we'll do a pretty big overview of a lot of the games coming up. And then today was also National Signing Day. So we're not going to cover a lot of that yet. But there were some big movement today, including a story that's pretty fresh, actually. This is the last thing I'll say, then we'll be done. Did you guys see the news about Jordan Seaton, the guy who flipped to Colorado last minute and like went on undisputed and
yes.
he is basically decommitted from Colorado now 2 weeks later, and it's looking like he's going to go to Maryland, which is just the wildest news that I don't
get that. Like that's
Maryland must be offering him $1 jillion because
why? Like what are they going to do with him?
Yeah, he's a 5-star defensive lineman. Tennessee was one of the teams it looked like he really might go to, and then he ended up flipping to Colorado and was talking some big talk about how he wanted to play for someone who looked like him, and why wouldn't you not want to go to Colorado and play for Dion and all this stuff. And then a couple weeks later, here he is flipped. So
something weird.
Wild times we're living in. Yep.
All right. Normally we have a NFL recap. There's not really anything to touch on. It's also Friday by the time you're listening to this, so anything that has been going on, you've already heard about it. If there's some breaking news, we would talk about it. But it's really been kind of a slow week. It's kind of the same storylines now. Ravens are competing for the 1 seed. It's theirs to lose at this point. The NFC side is wild. And then some of the other storylines we're going to break down into when we get to our best matchups of the weekend. So I think let's go ahead and head that way.
Did you talk about the Jags for a second?
I'm not going to do this. I think the listeners are tired of the Jags. I'm tired of the Jags. Yeah. I pulled out every lucky stop every trick that I know on Sunday. I had Mason and his wife Jalen come over. I've never lost a game that Mason's been at my house to watch, including when we were down 27-0 in the playoffs to the Chargers. He was there. They came back.
Didn't leave, by the way. We were thinking about leaving at half. Didn't leave.
Heroes.
Thank goodness, because
heroes.
True heroes. Yeah.
I bought a brand new pint of Chunky Monkey ice cream. I ate the whole pint. I changed clothes at halftime. I did all the things that I normally do, and the Jags continue to just beat themselves constantly. When you miss 3 field goals, when you're inside the 24 times and you get no points from any of those 4, that's beating yourself. So this is at this point, I hope we lose out. We miss the playoffs and we fire our GM and get a guy in here that knows how to draft big boys who know how to block and rush the passer, because we are lacking. We're a very soft team right now. And that's not going to win football games.
You remember that one time he said he wasn't going to talk about the Jags on the podcast?
I was explaining why I'm not going to talk about them.
That was my fault. Okay. But before we end that, I know you have an enormous number of bets on the Jags this season. Let's talk. Have any of them hit already? I know you had a couple of win totals.
So no, they'd have to win out to. Well, I have them at 9.5 wins, but that was just minus 110. My biggest bets were 26.5 touchdowns for Trevor. Not going to hit that. And then 10.5 wins. So I need them to win out to do that. And so not looking like
they can do that still.
They can. I don't think Trevor's going to play this weekend. So CJ Beathard's going to have. We've lost now Zay Jones and Christian Kirk. Calvin Ridley has not stepped up to be like that alpha dog receiver that he was painted to be when we traded for him. He's got a lot of drops, so it's kind of been frustrating. He's like top 5 in the league in drop passes. That's tough. That's a tough stat to swallow.
That is.
So I don't know. I'm at the point now where if the team's playing like the way they are, I don't even want to make the playoffs, because it means we've just kind of backed into the playoffs and we're not going to. We wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of cool with just like losing out. Then people get fired. Then people lose their jobs. Like, I think our offensive coordinator needs to go. I think he'd be a great head coach for the Chargers. He's got history with Doug. He's got history with the Eagles. I think he could take over a good young quarterback in Justin Herbert and help mold him. He's got NFL pedigree. His brother is the head coach of the Bengals. So I think Press Taylor needs to, I think he deserves a chance at a head coaching job. Since he was our offensive coordinator this year, and he loves to call bubbles.
Perform really well.
Yeah, we've called the most bubble screens in the league this year, and we have the least amount of yards from those plays. So it's a fun stat. We have 0.29 yards gained on 80 screen passes this year.
80.
The next highest team is 42 screen passes.
That's a lot of screen passes, huh?
Yeah, love to go horizontal.
It's like the Tennessee Vols offense.
Yep.
I feel by the end of the season, I kind of felt the same about the Tennessee offense. I was like, just grateful that I didn't have to sit and watch it anymore.
Yep.
And like be miserable on Saturdays watching this team just play kind of bad.
Yeah, and I'm just like, honestly, I'm cool if we just shut Trevor down for the rest of the year. He's almost gotten very badly injured twice this year with a knee and an ankle. He's now got a concussion.
You're giving up on the season?
A little bit.
This is a big deal right now.
They're in first place in the division.
Right. I told Morgan this Sunday is it. If we come out and we look like crap, then no, I'm done. But if we come out, Trevor plays, he dices the boys in Tampa up, we look like the offense like we're supposed to look like, then great. Let's go on a run and win the Super Bowl. I'll be right back, ready to go.
He's back.
He's back, baby.
Wait, how many touchdowns does Trevor have?
19.
Oh, 7.5 more?
Yeah, with the Bucks,
That's
Panthers,
doable.
and Titans.
Those are bad teams.
Right. I would love to cash that bet because
8 touchdowns.
responsibly, responsibly a lot of money on that bet.
3 touchdowns a game.
I was telling strangers about it on our cruise.
Titans are tanking. Panthers have already tanked. They're already in the tank.
they're bad. They're bad.
They don't even get a first-round pick to show for it either.
It's not even there. They have to give it to the Bears. All for Bryce Young.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's very funny.
I can't wait to go in. Once draft season comes around, we'll talk about that trade being maybe the worst trade of all time. Because there's
all right.
I got some fun stats and comparisons for that one. I've been tracking it all year.
Okay.
All right. So that was our.
Okay, we can be done with that. We can be done with that.
That's us not talking about the Jaguars, and I just gave a full analysis of what's going on with the team.
That was interesting for the people.
Yeah, no one likes the Jags that listens to this podcast, though. They're all Titans fans.
They could, though. But the Titans are bad, and I feel like they're just not even worth talking about at this point. And so,
hey, Ryan Tannehill is going to be back this weekend.
Is he playing? He's
probably.
Not playing.
Will Levis hasn't practiced all week. High ankle sprain.
Oh no! How did I not know this? That's not good.
Oh,
talk about a comeback story right here, folks. We're already eliminated from playoffs.
Everybody loves a good
Doesn't matter. Spoiler for the rest of the year, though.
That's right. Love playing spoiler. It's fun. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
All right. Big bet. So, best matchups of the weekend. Mason, what do you got for me?
All right. This is the easiest decision of my life when it comes to matchup of the week.
Wow.
It has to be Christmas Day night. Both 11-3 teams. Both have the best record in their conference. Can both teams hold on to that number 1 seed in their conference? Ravens at the 49ers. Fill up on tons of Christmas food and sweets. Place a couple bets and enjoy this matchup on Christmas night. I'm not going to dive deep into it because Tinsley has a bet and he'll do that for us. But that is my matchup of the week.
That is going to be that. So the schedule makers were in their bag when they made that.
100%.
Like the last game of the week. They probably didn't know it was going to be a battle of 2 1 seeds, possibly a Super Bowl matchup. That's going to be a great game. I can't wait to see it. It's kind of 2 conflicting styles. The 49ers are like a ground and pound team, and then the Ravens have all of a sudden turned into a flashy air raid offense that still plays good defense. So it's going to be a fun game. Can't wait to watch that one. I like both of those teams. Like when the Jags have sucked so many years in a row, you kind of pick up on the other teams you root for, you like watching. Those are 2 teams I've always enjoyed watching their games. So it's going to be a very good matchup. And a very important matchup, too, honestly. And like Mason said, I do have a bet for that later, but that is for later. Zach. Oh, I see Zach has got a little – Zachy Poo's got an NFL matchup. Let's hear it, Zach.
Exclusive
stuff. Yeah, we've already broken down a lot of the college stuff happening this week, and so I saw this matchup, and I think it's a really intriguing one. We have the Texans and the Browns. Both of these teams are in the playoff hunt. Browns currently sitting second place in the AFC North, obviously to the Ravens. Texans locked up in this 3-way tie. Well, not really a tie because there's some tiebreakers, obviously. But the Texans, Colts, and Jags are all 8-6, right? So we have a couple of big time. This is a big time matchup. I was looking at this website I'm looking at broke down the playoff probability with a win or a loss. The Browns, with a win, go basically to a greater than 99% chance of making the playoffs, but if they lose, down to a 77% chance. The Texans, on the other hand, go to 32% if they lose, but up to a 73% with a win here. So this is truly like a season kind of changing game for both of these teams. Browns can effectively lock up a playoff spot with a win. Texans can really make a really big jump towards that as well. Two teams who are playing, I don't know, kind of hit or miss right now. I think the Browns are one of those fun, frisky teams with a really good defense. Texans without CJ Stroud, obviously, but they picked up a really big win this week as well. So I think it's a fun matchup to watch, and we'll see what happens.
Yep, this is definitely another fun matchup. CJ Stroud will be out. He is, well, they haven't announced it yet, but he's still dealing with concussion symptoms. They are somewhat of a different team without him. They pulled that was a wild comeback against the Titans, right?
Well, yes.
Right. Okay. Oh no, I was legitimately making sure I didn't mix up the score.
No, overtime loss to the Titans.
Really bad loss. Yeah.
So, but this Browns team, they can still win the AFC North. They need a little help. They need a couple. I think if the Ravens lose against the 49ers and then they lose again against the Dolphins and the Browns were to win out, you can see the playoffs going through Cleveland.
Could we see 3 AFC North teams in the playoff as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Because Bengals are right behind them.
They are.
And they have another matchup with the Steelers. So that helps division-wise and playoff seeding-wise because the Steelers are still kind of up there as far as like wild card possibilities. But yeah, no, this Texans team is definitely outperforming expectations. The Browns as well. I mean, they're on their 4th different quarterback this year. Joe Flacco has turned the clock back.
It's crazy.
Their defense has been good all year, and now they just have a quarterback who is just putting up wild numbers. And so that's a team. I think they're the classic definition of team you don't want to see in the playoffs because they can beat you a couple of different ways, and it's going to not be a fun day to play against the Cleveland Browns, especially at home. That home field advantage there is real. The weather is terrible. It's cold. You don't want to be there. And their defense, Myles Garrett, is just going to hit you and hit you and hit you until you're just like, all right, I'm ready to take my bags to Jamaica for the offseason.
Talk about teams you don't want to play in the playoffs as well. The Bills are right below them. This is just a little freebie here. But Bills, if they win, they're 70% chance that they're going to make the playoffs. Lose, they're 28%. So this is like the season on the line for the Bills.
Yeah, it'd be really tough. It'd be really, really tough for someone who's maybe talked a lot of trash about the Bills. If they turn around and make the playoffs, maybe even win their division, that's still on the table for them as well.
Wow.
As of right now, they're not in the playoff picture. It is Baltimore first seed. Then you'd have Cleveland at Jacksonville, Cincinnati at Kansas City, Colts at Miami.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Then you would have the 49ers first seed, Eagles at Tampa Bay, Minnesota at Detroit, and then the Rams at the Dallas Cowboys.
There you go.
The guys over at ESPN. All right. My matchup of the weekend, and I'm labeling this the Fraud Bowl. These are two teams with very good records, hyped up, maybe Super Bowl contenders. The loser of this game, whoever they play first round of the playoffs, I'm going to smash that team. I'm going to take them and bet them to beat this team badly. Dolphins, Cowboys. They have both beaten up on really bad teams. More so the Dolphins. The Dolphins really haven't beaten anyone with a winning record still. The Cowboys have a few good wins. The Eagles win is not really it's not aging well at this point. The Eagles look to be falling apart. Cowboys are a whole different animal at home, but they have been blowing teams out at home, especially bad teams. So this is two teams that like to score. I give the edge to the Cowboys defense. I think they're a little bit better of a unit than the Dolphins unit on defenses, but I just think whoever loses this game is a paper tiger team that's not really as good as they've seemed all year. And Tyreek Hill maybe not being able to play is going to be bad for the Dolphins because he is it didn't show up against the Jets. I think it's because the Jets have given up at this point. Their defense has done all they could. I think their defense knows if they give up more than 10 points in a game, the game is over. So I think that's part of what happened last week against the Dolphins and Jets game. So that's my matchup of the weekend. I think it's going to be fun. I think, if anything, there'll be a lot of points.
Yeah. It's going to be an over game, you
I
think?
think so. I think it'll be high scoring.
Okay.
A lot of receiver props. Be a good game for that. CD, Waddle, Brandon Cooks.
Hill if he comes back.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill if he comes back.
The term paper tiger refers to something or someone that claims or appears to be powerful or threatening, but is actually ineffectual and unable to withstand a challenge. Paper tiger.
Wow, pretty good, Tins.
Wow, thank you. You could say that about the Jaguars. They're paper Jaguars. Stupid Tins. Zach got me mad. I was fine. I hadn't thought about him all day. Now I'm just sitting here thinking about how mad they make me. All right. Anyway, best bet time. Best bet time. Do we want mine because it stinks so bad?
Sure, why not?
Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. I know no one wants to take a double-digit underdog, especially a team that just lost by 35 plus last week to a very bad Raiders team. But hear me out. I have one stat. I'm not a big stats guy, as we all know, but sometimes I get them and I find them and I make them work for me. Teams that are coming off a loss of 35 plus are 17-3 in the last 20 years. So that's covering a double-digit spread 85% of the time. This line opened up at 14.5. It's now been bet down to 11.5. The Chargers, I don't even know if I said who it is. I'm sorry. Chargers. We're taking the Chargers 11.5 against the Bills. I know the Bills have blown some teams out this year, but this is an away or oh no, I should have had that in the note. Is this a home game for the Bills?
I'm looking right now.
That could be bad.
For who?
For the Bills. Chargers and the Bills.
Oh, is that who we're betting?
Tim is really dying on this hill of the Bills are not good.
It's at the Chargers.
At the Chargers on a Saturday night, cross-country flight. Give me the Chargers plus 11.5. That is an egregious amount of points.
It's a lot of points.
Like I said, 18. What was the stat? I'm not even quoting myself right. 17-3 in the last 20 years. 85% cover rate. I think the Chargers are just going to. They fired their head coach. The new D-line, the defensive line coach is taking over. He's a rah-rah guy. He's going to have the boys buzzing. Let's fly around, play some defense, make Josh Allen make some mistakes, which he is very prone to do. He still is tied for league in turnovers this year, everyone. Let's not forget it. I won't let you.
Don't forget it.
What'd you say the line was?
I got 11.5.
On FanDuel, it's 12.5 at minus 110.
What the...
Plus 12.5 on
beautiful.
Minus
Take that. I hate everything.
Change it for the graphic at plus 12.5 on FanDuel, everybody.
Beautiful.
You're welcome. Extra point there. Every point matters.
Heck yeah. That's that extra point and a hook.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of every point matters, I'll kick off my best bet.
Yes. Let's get it.
I have the Detroit Lions. They have been averaging the fifth most points per game this season with 27.3 points per game. More importantly, the Lions are averaging 32.2 points a game when playing indoors this season. Guess where they're playing this weekend, everybody? Indoors at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota against the Vikings. Going to buy it down to 23.5 juice bag, but I'll take it because I don't want to die by the hook of I want the 3 or the 2 touchdowns and the field goal. So 23.5 at minus 148. Lock it in as my best bet.
Super Bowl winning Vikings.
Super Bowl winning Vikings.
Super Bowl is back on.
Even though they lost last week. I actually don't know if are they eliminated? No, they're not eliminated from the playoffs.
No, they're not.
I wonder what their current percentage is, though. I'll look it up before mine. This is important, guys.
Well, while you're looking that up, should we kick off our parlay?
Our parlay.
Hey, Vikings still have a 79% chance to make the playoffs if they win.
It's pretty good.
They're playing the Lions.
What happens if they lose? Yeah, I
39% chance. 7-7. They're currently at 55%.
Okay,
guys, they're alive.
I broke down for 5 minutes of who they were playing, and then he's like, the Vikings, they're playing the Lions.
I knew that. I just didn't put the pieces together.
Okay, parlay time. Zach, kick us off.
All right, I'm still taking college parlay here, even though, let me state that my leg of the parlay hit last week, just for everybody who's out there.
Everyone is aware.
Bengals money line. Also, we broke the record for the quickest parlay death.
That was my fault, everybody.
Noon on Saturday. It was done.
It was done. It was dead. It was done. Dead in the water. I had the under. Guess what? It was under 7.5. All we needed was a touchdown. They scored 10 points, and then they went almost the whole rest of the game not really scoring. So that's betting for you.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Brutal game. But go ahead and kick us off with your college pick for the parlay, Zacharoni.
All right. So there was one game that I liked on Saturday, so I didn't want to make everybody wait until later in the week. I wanted to make sure we knew if it hit this weekend. So this is in the Utah Northwestern game. They play on Saturday in the Las Vegas Bowl. Northwestern, obviously, kind of a big season. They went 7-5. If you look at their schedule, though, very soft schedule. They beat some truly horrible teams and then lost to every decent team they played. Basically, they lost to Iowa 10-7. They lost to Penn State by 28 points. They lost to Duke by a lot of points as well, and Rutgers. I just don't think this Northwestern team, I think they have benefited from a really soft Big Ten schedule, and so they're coming in. Utah, on the other hand, has kind of been through the ringer in the Pac-12 this season. Pac-12 was very good, as we know. Utah lost their starting quarterback the very beginning of the season, and so they've been playing with their backups. But Utah has fought pretty hard throughout the season. I think they are a much better team coming in, and I think that they win pretty easily. The line is 6.5 for Utah, but to make sure that we feel good about it, I'm going to take Utah money line. I think they win. I think they're a much they are going to be missing some players, but I think their quarterback is going to play Bryson Barnes. But they will be without a couple of wide receivers and safeties who are going to the NFL draft. So I just think Northwestern is not that good, to be honest with you. So that's why I'm going Utah.
Great pick.
I'm at.
Like that. Pac-12's definitely, in my mind, been the best conference all year. So in Utah, I don't think they ever got blown out. They fought everybody pretty hard. So, and that's a year where their starting quarterback was out since day one. So,
yeah,
good solid team. That coach has always done a good job getting the guys ready. Performs well in bowl games. So, I like that pick. I like the money line.
All right, I'll kick us off for the second leg. All right, let's not sugarcoat it. It's been a struggle on my end a little bit. I, once again, just shot us down right off the bat. And then I did not hit the last bet either. So I have some news for everyone. I will rise from the ashes.
He's back.
I've been doing more research than ever. I will work harder, and I will give you guys a winner. With that being said, give me Washington plus 1.5 at -108 at the half. I'm taking Washington here because they're going up against a team that couldn't put up a single point last week against the Dolphins. That would be the Jets.
Stuff.
Zach Wilson is questionable for this week. And the stat that caught my eye the most, the Jets are 1-7 against the spread for the first half at home.
What if Aaron Rodgers just trots out in the field in place? That would be astounding.
It's not going to happen.
Wouldn't that be the craziest thing that you've ever seen, though?
He's on the active roster.
He's on the active roster. They would be, you know how everybody would lose their job in that entire building. Janitor, the concession person, if he goes out there and gets hurt again and is like affected next season, pointless games. It would make sense if they
That'd be
had a run
awesome.
if he got hurt again.
But what if he came out and diced him up and didn't get hurt?
I want him to get like 8 touchdowns.
8. Well,
incredible.
Then I guess I'm going to lose my bet for the 3rd week in a row.
What's the line on that? Can I get a bet for Aaron Rodgers to throw a touchdown pass?
No. That's not even on there. It's not even an option.
That would be electric.
That would be something. Sorry, Mason, I like this pick. Zach Wilson came in, won him a game, and then got absolutely shut out. They were shut out last week against the Dolphins team, and then he has a concussion, so you're looking at playing against Trevor Siemian. Yeah. Yikes. And the Washington's offense has not been the problem. It's been the defense. It's been a little sluggish, but I do think Washington can put up enough points in the first half to cover this spread for you. I like this bet.
Thank you, Tens.
You're welcome. Thank you for giving a guaranteed winner. I'll be taking it personally outside of the parlay.
All right. A double dip.
Double dip. Speaking of double dipping, triple dipping, the 49ers. The 49ers are a team. I don't think the team that shall not be named by me the rest of this episode can win the Super Bowl. So I got to hitch my wagon somewhere else. I've hitched that wagon to the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Buffalo Bills, and
the San Francisco 49ers. If you look at my DraftKings account, I got quite a few random get-rich-quick parlays from free $5 bets that include the Alabama team, and this 49ers team. And this 49ers team is a wagon. I think if they stay healthy, they are a team. I don't see how you can beat them. They have very few flaws. And they have a coaching staff that covers up those flaws in a way that makes them hard to beat. They're playing the Ravens this week. It's definitely going to be a fun matchup. But what I saw from that Ravens team does not give me confidence that they can go into San Francisco and beat them at home. They give up a lot of pressures. Lamar Jackson was having to do a lot of old school Lamar Jackson stuff of dancing around in the pocket, making guys miss. You can do that to a mediocre Jaguars defensive line. You're not going to be able to do that to the 49ers defensive line, who is 4 deep. Like their starting 4 guys are all Pro Bowl guys. 2 of them are all pro level type players in Armstead and Nick Bosa. And Chase Young could be, if he were to stay healthy and kind of reach his potential. So I think they're going to be in the backfield. The Ravens offensive line is struggling. They're kind of doing like they're sharing reps at both tackle spots because they're coming off of injuries and they're not performing well. Having O-line issues going into a San Francisco game is not what you want whatsoever, because that defensive line is just going to put pressure on them all day. And the Jags did move the ball quite a bit on the Ravens defense, and they lost their starting safety during the game. He got hurt. Someone landed on his leg and it broke. So that's tough for a team because the 49ers, they have an explosive passing offense on top of Christian McCaffrey just being a workhorse. So I don't see the Ravens being the original line's 5.5. If you don't love the juice on our parlay, I'm giving it out at 2.5 just to kind of give myself that field goal. If you took it minus 6.5, minus 7, I wouldn't blame you. Like I really think this 49ers team is capable of just running it up, and it seems like they like to run it up on teams. They don't pull starters. They pad stats. Kyle Shanahan loves to just work out any kinks while he's up 20 points. So he's very capable of running it up. So I like 49ers minus 2.5, but you can take them however you want.
And I did already put it in our generator here and got plus 315.
315. I like that. That's nice.
So just a little bit more. We were cooking up. If you guys don't know, we put in hours of just bouncing off ideas, and we cooked one up earlier. That was like plus 180. This one, It's a winner at plus 315. Put it in the books.
Check. Done.
Go ahead and spend the money because it's gonna be back in your account at the end of the weekend.
Short on
anyway.
Christmas money.
Yeah.
Put a couple $100 in. You'll be fine.
Tell your significant other, your wife, your girlfriend, whoever, hey, you know that money we're gonna spend on Christmas? I'm gonna not even double it. I'm gonna triple it. Just let me have it. We'll get it back Monday night after the 49ers game. We'll have it. It'll be fun.
Hey, you know that car I had? Well, I sold it, and now we have to carpool because I took the money.
Don't tell her you sold it until after you've tripled your money already.
That's yeah, you're right.
Buy 3 more of them.
Bingo.
You have 3 Sparks, Mason.
3 Chevy Sparks? That's like a full car.
One whole car.
All right, that's a pod. So make sure to check out our special, the Christmas special on Christmas Day. That's right. We take no days off here.
We have no idea what we're doing yet for
We have no idea. We'll figure it out. But we are doing a Christmas special. You'll have to check it out. Make some Christmas breakfast to turn it on and listen to it.
Maybe we'll do a live nativity scene, but just the audio.
I love it. Great idea.
Yeah, we'll workshop that. Let's workshop
maybe
that.
A little bit. So make sure you check out that episode on Monday, Christmas morning. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out on social media. We do all of our voting on there. Check out the Parlay. Make sure to tail it. You guys got anything else?
Love it.
That's a pod. That's a pod.
Moo.